So, for today, we will have our basic agenda regarding GlideRecord, but we'll go through a small revision with respect to Glide systems. So, what is Glide system or GS? GS is nothing but your object for Glide systems class. Glide systems is nothing but a class which holds methods related, which hold method or functions related to user record. It holds method and function related to system properties. It holds method and function related to date and time, which we saw in the previous sessions. Okay. So GS is it is like Glide system is nothing but a class. That's what I said, right? So basically, what happens is like we have a home, and if you want to access the things which are present within the home, you have to have some key in order to enter the home. And similarly, in order to access Glide system, you have something called GS, which is object or the key to that particular class. We saw different methods which are present under GS Glide system class. Okay, wherein we check for get user ID. We try to see what these different methods will do, what all these different methods will be returning us back when we are using GS. Okay, so let's go through a small example wherein you see this particular example, what is happening here. If gs.has role ITL, so what we are trying to do is the person who is logged into the system, let's say Ravi Kiran is trying to log into ServiceNow. Okay, that time this particular rule will get executed and it will check whether Ravi is having ITIL role or not within the system. So if Ravi is having ITIL role, what will happen eventually? It is going to print Ravi's user ID. Okay, it will print Ravi's username, and then the user ID or nothing but your sys ID it will print, and then Ravi's full name, whatever his display name is there, that will be printed via gs.get display name. So all these methods, there may be certain business use cases which will be required, wherein you will be required to check a role whenever somebody is logging into the system. Very simple or very common example is if you are storing something related to payroll, you will be trying to check that whoever is logging into the system, right, whether he is HR, means HR related data should be visible. If he is not an HR or he is not a person from organization, I don't want to show such type of module or such type of information to him. So I can utilize this gs.has role, wherein I will be checking the role of the person. Okay. Then we also discussed about how we can access system properties. Remember, we wrote some code wherein we were trying to, in the background script, we wrote the code. We were trying to access system property, whether that system property is true or false, whether it is having some value which we are requesting. Okay, so all that we can do via Glide systems, and also we can check whether a particular table exists. Let's say tomorrow Fakruni came and she said like, okay, I have created 200 tables, but I have two choices. Whether she have created all 200 table, I can go and check manually one by one, or I can write a script mentioning those 200 table name, and I can run that script, and that script will return whether that particular table exists in 200 record or not. Okay, so manually, if I look manually, right, manually it will take a lot of time for me to go and verify each table. But whereas I can directly write gs.table exists, and I can pass those table name, whatever Fabian is saying, as parameter. My system will let me know whether that table really exists or she has missed maybe creation of one of the table. Simultaneously, we can also understand whether a particular value is a nil value. Nil means it doesn't any variable has a nil value, means it doesn't hold any value, right? So let's say we are doing very complex calculation wherein we are based upon time zone, we are trying to identify certain specific moment when we have to trigger a report, and we come across certain functions which are returning nil, which means they are setting my variable as nil, which means it's not giving any value to my function. That time I can check whether that variable after returning from the function has a nil value, which means it doesn't have any value. Then I can put some logic there, and I can also generate events within such system. What are event that we are going to discuss in upcoming slide. Okay, most probably it will be there for today's session itself. And then we have something called print. So let's say I want to do certain debugging of my code. I can utilize this type of print, log error, get message. These are the common methods which are available, and I can utilize this method to do debugging of my code. Okay, based on what application scope you are working. So let's say you are working in global scope, which is accessible to everyone. Certain methods will work, and if you are working in scoped application, which is not for allowed for everyone, that is unlimited scope, or people with certain role only, such type of application, right? There you will see that certain methods may or may not work depending upon the scope. So that part comes little later. But gs.log, gs.log error message, all these are the methods which you will utilize in order to debug your code within ServiceNow. So we saw that how we can use gs.getProperty to access method, log to generate log within the system. Okay, so one example is here. So what I'm trying to do, you see, gs.name. So I'm trying to check whether current dot location means whoever is the current logged in person. For example, Uganda logged in ServiceNow. I have created his profile. I put everything, but I forgot to put location for Uganda. Or let's say that time I was not aware what will be the job location for Uganda. So I can write a business rule. If gs.log and gs.nil current dot location. So I'm saying that if whoever has logged in, their current location is nil, which means it does not have any value, then you can pull the value from somewhere and set that value. Current dot location, set a value for which particular field. For location field, set the value of current location of that particular caller ID. Okay, so this is what we can do, and then we have also seen this gs.getProperty, wherein I was going to system property, which if I make any changes, right, they are global changes. Right? Such properties also I can access via gs.system. Then eventually we went and we saw something related to glide date and time, wherein we saw that how gs can be utilized to to calculate date differences, to check what was the beginning of the year, what was the end of the year, what is my current system date and time, all that. So these are the different methods which are present with respect to gs, which I can utilize in order to determine or in order to work with date and time. For example, gs.now will give me now date. Gs now date time will give me now date time as per my system. Even we saw that if we are changing the time zone within my system profile, right, what is happening, the result which is being returned, right, that gets changed. So on a very high level, we can say that gs we can utilize for three purposes. One is for dealing related to user functions, user role. And second is related to system properties, system error, logs, etc. And third one is related to date and time. We work for gs. This was this was all about gs, and today we are going to start with the most important topic, which is GlideRecord. Okay. Does anyone have any question with respect to gs as of now, or we can proceed further?
No, they won't.
Okay, so let's go and start with our glide system. So what is GlideRecord? GlideRecord basically. Okay, so GlideRecord is used for database operation instead of writing SQL code. So remember, we said like whatever we write within ServiceNow, everything gets translated into SQL command. Because ServiceNow in the backend, it uses MySQL as its database. This was one of the interview question I told you, right? So instead of we writing all those MySQL queries or SQL queries, right? What we do is we write code in JavaScript, and ServiceNow will translate that code into its own language, and then it will return the result. So why do we write GlideRecord? GlideRecord is required whenever you are trying to access any data, or whenever you are trying to perform any read operation, you are performing any write operation, or you wish to delete something, or you wish to update something. So basically, you can say that glide system will be required whenever you are performing any sort of data operation. Okay, it can be read, write, it can be anything. Okay, within ServiceNow tables. So as we know that everything is stored within ServiceNow as table only, right? So glide systems is required whenever you are performing any operation on the database. Whenever you are trying to read the record, whenever you are trying to update the record, that time your glide record will be required. Okay. So whenever you write the glide record, what happens? So glide record will return you an object containing 0 or more record from the same table. Okay. So because glide record is nothing but a class. Okay. If you are writing query, if you are writing certain code that you want to fetch something from the table, only two things can happen: either result will be there or result will not be. Okay, if you are trying to find certain thing on let's say any particular area, right? That two scenarios only can be there. Either that thing will be there or that thing will not be there. So what happens with respect to glide record also is, whenever you write a glide record to fetch certain data, either that data will be there or it won't be there. So whenever we write this, we get object. So what is this? Glide record is a class. So in order to get thing which is present inside the class, I will have to declare object. Like if I want to enter my home, I need to have key. So the moment I have the key, I will get either what I am expecting within my home, or I may not get. So basically, glide record will return you 0 or more record. It can be 1 or it can be 0 or it can be more than 1 or 2. And whatever record is being returned by glide record, it is ordered list. Means it will be in a particular sequence. Most of the time it is like ascending order of its creation. Okay, the record which was created at last will be displayed at the last. Okay, and the record which was created first will be displayed at the first. So it will be like one ordered list. Some sorting will be done, either ascending order or descending order. It will be returned to you. Okay, properties are tables field name column. Okay, what does this mean? So we know that within ServiceNow everything is stored in form of tables and column. The fields which we see on the form, those are nothing but tables column, correct? So in order to fetch those, in order to build condition, or in order to update those particular fields on my form, I can utilize GlideRecord. And GlideRecord executes on the server side. Okay, it does not execute on your client side, it executes on your server side, which means anything which you put in, right, it is going to update your database. So we have to be more cautious, because if we update something wrong, our system will be getting updated. Okay, so we have to make sure that the proper validations are there. We have to make sure that we are putting in the consistent data only. Okay, we are not putting anything in system which is irrelevant. Because it executes on the server, and it is eventually, the moment your code executes here, you save, what happens? Your data gets updated in your database. Okay, let's go to the next one. Working with GlideRecord queries. So how do we write GlideRecord? Okay, now we understood why we need to write GlideRecord, because we want to fetch a record, we want to update the record, we want to delete a record, or we want to create a new record in my table. Okay, so see, when I say I have to fetch a record means I want to see certain record. I can type incident and I can get this list. Okay, but let's say I am on problem record, I am working on problem form, but I still want this list of incident. Then I cannot go back, right? I cannot go back again and again. I cannot do. Or let's say I have to do. I'm on problem record. I want to update incident short description. Then I cannot come back here and again do that, right? So what will happen? It will be like I'm not able to do it properly. So via code, how do I do this? So for those particular purposes, you will be using your GlideRecord. Okay, and let's say you have to create a particular record within database. So what you do, you hit a new button, right? And what happens? You hit a new button and you fill in all the required details, and eventually you save that details. And what happens? The data gets created within system. As of now, if I go ahead and check this incident number, right? This, see, I have not hit save button. This incident does not exist in my database. Incident table, it does not exist. Okay. But the moment I fill in some details and I hit save button, what happens? This record gets created within my system. Okay. If similarly such type of requirement is there or such type of use case is there that I have to create a record by under certain business use cases, how do I do? I utilize GlideRecord. Okay. So how do we basically write glide records? We'll see that part. So whenever we have to write a glide record, what we need to do, we have to create a glide record object for the table of interest. Okay, so we have to declare one object like which table I want to access. That table's object I need to declare within GlideRecord class. Okay, then I have to build query. When I say query oblique condition, it is like what I want from that particular table. I will specify the condition. For example, I want list of all the incidents which are in progress. Okay. Third thing is I will execute this query. Whatever query I have built above, whatever conditions I have built above, I'm going to execute that query. And fourth thing, what will happen based upon my execution and condition, what will happen? Some results will be written. Okay, let's see how basically that happens. Okay, so it will be something like this. Okay, which we have to write. So what we are doing here is we are declaring create an object to store rows from a table. For example, here where my object. This my obj is nothing but a variable. You can put any name. It's not necessary that you have to put my obj only. You can put anything. But where is a reserved keyword, so you have to utilize which defines that you are using a variable. Okay, equal to new glide record. Okay, this is constant. You have to make sure that this format is there. In order to declare object for glide record, you have to write it like this one. Equal to new glide record. Okay, and then in the bracket you will be putting the table for which table you need this particular data, for which table you are declaring this object. Okay, so that table we will be mentioning in double quotes, and this is format of ServiceNow glide record. We cannot change. Okay, you have to mention variable. You can declare your own object, but you have to follow this equal to new glide record. So here what we are doing basically is we are declaring the object for this particular table, whatever we are going to mention in between. Now second part what we saw was we are going to write certain query, or we are going to specify the condition what I want from that table. If I'm not specifying that what I want, what will happen? System will return everything. Okay, let's say you are working in a customer environment wherein per month basis there are 5 lakhs record getting created, and you do not specify condition, what will happen? Your system will return you those 5 lakh records. So your system performance will be hindered, because it's obvious, right? Processing 500 record is easy than processing 5 lakh records, right? So we are so basically you will have to build up certain condition there, what you want, specifically what records you are looking for. So for that, the format will be, you have to take my object, whatever object you have declared above, can be any name, dot add query. Add query is function which is present in GlideRecord class. Okay, and then you will specify field name. Okay, let's say I want category, and then I will be defining the operator equal to hardware. Okay, so I'm declaring field as category, operator as equal to, right? Operator means equal to, not equal to, greater than, lesser than, equal to. All these are operators. Okay, and whatever value, what value I am looking for category. Okay, similarly, if I want to declare more than one condition, I will put again my object dot add query, and I will put the field name, operator, and the value. And third thing which we will do is we are going to do my obj.query, which means I am saying to system that please execute this command on this particular table. Okay, my obj.query, I am saying that execute these condition on the table, whatever I have mentioned. Okay, what will happen while my obj.next? This will give you, after this query will be executed, after this condition will be executed, remember, either it will give me either it will give me 0 record, or it can give me more records, correct? Either based on my condition, there are some records present in my table, or there may not be any record present in my table. So that record will be result, my obj.next will give you that list of records here. And we can do what? We can either try to print those records, or we can delete those records, or update those records. We will see in the upcoming slide. Any question here? Yes, no, maybe.
No.
So what we saw here, we will try to see now one example. Okay, how do we write a glide query, glide record? So if you see, right, first step was where my obj equal to new glide record table name. So what I am trying to do, where this is reserved keyword, so I can put anything, any name here I can declare as an object. I can declare where Ugandhar equal to new glide record, and I'm mentioning the table from which table I want the data. Here I have mentioned as change request. I want the data from change request table, or let's say I want the data from your order details table. Okay, so I can mention that table. This first step. Okay, this part, whatever you are writing query, it gets automatically translated like this in your SQL command. But we need not to worry about this part. We have to only worry about this part. Okay, and this remains constant, so you have to follow that format. As you keep on writing this query again and again, you'll be able to remember them very easily. Okay, so next is like add query, wherein you are going to build up certain condition. So first thing you said, like, I want details from which table? I want details from change table. Now what details, under what condition I want to write category equal to hardware. So I'm writing obj, my obj, which I declared in the first line, first condition, first row, that dot add query. I'm writing add query means I'm writing a condition where my category equal to hardware. I want all the record present in change request where my category is equal to hardware. Again, I'm writing obj dot add query. Priority is not equal to 1. Okay, so I want list of all the records which are present in change request table where category is equal to hardware and priority is not equal to 1. I want list of all those records. Okay, and this gets translated something like this: select asterisk from change request table where category is equal to hardware and priority not equal to 1. This is SQL, corresponding SQL statement of whatever you have written in program. Okay, so this is the second step which we did. First we declared object, second we declared the condition. Now third step will be to execute the query. Okay, before going to third step, there are certain operators like equal to, not equal to. So these are the standard operators which are provided by ServiceNow, and you can use these operators when you are writing the condition. For example, you can use greater than, equal to, lesser than, equal to, and then for comparing certain strings. So these are majorly for like numeric comparison. Okay, but there will be certain string means when you are writing names, or you are writing certain text like short description you want to compare, right? There you will be using starts with, ends with. Like I say, like, give me all the incidents which were created by Ashwini, where this short description starts with user login. So I want to get the all incident where short description starts with user login. So I will use this particular operator. When I say operator using, I will have to write in the center. There may be certain scenarios wherein you will see that people are not writing these operators. So ServiceNow, if you are not writing any operator in between, ServiceNow by default accepts that it is an equal operator. But if you are writing it, ServiceNow will take your operator which you have specifically mentioned. If you are not writing, ServiceNow will consider that it is an equal operator, which means category equal to hardware. If I don't write this, ServiceNow will accept like priority equal to 1. Okay. And then for numeric and for comparison of two of the strings, right? What you can do, you can use equal to, not equal to. Let's say state is equal to 3, state is equal to new, or state is not equal to in progress. All that these are the multiple operators which are available within ServiceNow, and you can utilize to write your glide code. Now your third part was to execute the query. So whatever you have done till now, like you have declared the object, you have put up the condition. Now third part is to write the query for your condition. So you will have to just put my obj.query. You are saying to the system, please execute this query. Okay. So the moment you say this, system will execute that query, and there will be certain set of record which will be returned. Okay. It can be 0 also, can be more than 1, 2, or more than that also. Okay. Those record, how do you process? How do you process means how, because let's say it didn't return any record, 0 record. Okay, there is no record present with such condition, so we cannot do anything. Okay, but let's say there are more than 1 record present, 2 record present, and you want to update the short description. For example, we have a condition wherein change request equal to hardware, category is equal to hardware, and priority not equal to 1. We got some 5 records. Okay, now as per my business use case, I got my client asked, like, wherever this condition is matching, you have to update the short description as priority equal to 5, or you have to put like something like priority is critical for change request. So all these you'll be writing under while loop. Okay, so while is a loop. Okay, it will work unless you are having a record. Okay, so if it is like more than 1 record, you will be using while record. If you have to work only with 1 record, you will be putting if condition. If this record exists, then do. And if you would have seen, there is something called my obj.next. What does this do? So while my obj.next will move to the next record. So based upon your condition, how many records are written, it will move to the next record. So let's say 5 records are written. So first record it will go, and it will check, okay, this is done. You have updated the record, move to the next record, second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record. After fifth record, it will check any other record with above condition which you have given is present or not. If it is not present, it will take you out of the loop, and it will not update any other record. It will not touch any other record. Okay, that's why loop means it will continue that operation. Okay, you don't have to write the same code again and again. Rather, you can write a while loop which will repeat the code again and again until when that condition is matching. Okay, so whatever will be done in between these record, right? You are updating or deleting or whatever you are doing in between, right? That logic will again and again execute until it is finding the record with same condition which you have mentioned. Let's say there is any business requirement wherein you have to deal with only 1 record, not all the record. Okay, then you will be putting if. It will check my obj.next. If there is any record exists, that's it. It will process whatever, one time only it will process that record, and it will come out. And then there is one more method which is nothing but hasNext, which determines whether there is any other object, there is any other record present or not. Okay, so this you will see in certain cases, but most of the time people will be working with next, not next. Okay, it will move to the next record. If next record with same condition is not present, it will come out of the loop. It will come out of the block. Okay. So this we have seen in order to fetch the record. We saw till now based upon whatever condition we are mentioning. What is happening? ServiceNow is returning the record. It is giving us those set of records. Let's say there is some business requirement wherein I have to update the record. Okay, let's go with this particular example wherein I want to update the record. So if you see, right, what I have done, where incgr. Now this is something nothing but your object for GlideRecord for incident table. Okay, So I'm declaring incgr as object. And once I have whatever object I have declared, I have to use same object throughout my code. Okay. I cannot, if I will change that object, let's say here I have declared in this manner incgr, and here I am putting inc.query, it will not execute. Because ServiceNow, this will GlideRecord will not understand. This is the key. You have to use the key to get access to whatever is present in your home. If you change that, you will not be allowed to enter the home. Simple as that. Okay. So inc.gr equal to new GlideRecord. I'm saying incident table. So I want to do something on my incident table. Okay. inc.add query. I'm trying to set up the condition that problem record equal to current.sysID. So I'm checking problem underscore ID. There is some field on incident table which is named as problem underscore ID. In that there is equal to current.sysID. Any record present with current sysID. Let's say I'm working on a problem table. So my problem table has some ID. That ID is present on this incident table or not. And I'm saying inc.query. So I'm saying to the system or processing engine that please execute this query and give me some result. So it can happen that 0 records are written, or it can happen that multiple records are written. So let's say we assume that there is 2 records returned by ServiceNow. Okay, record 1, record 2 are present within incident table. So what I want to do, while incgr.next, unless records are present with same condition matching the above condition, what you do, inc.work node update incidents work node equal to related problem plus current number closed with following close node current.close nodes. So remember, when we were discussing about different types of business rule, we found that there are 2 predefined variables which are present within which ServiceNow gives us in order to work with different fields. So what we are trying to do, we are using that current.close node. Close node is what? Nothing but a field present on the table on which this business rule may be running. Okay, and what we are doing, we are using their current value. So it can be close node, maybe anything. Okay, that current value and the current number, whatever number is there, that we are using, and we are trying to just update the business rule. Update the work node. At last, we are putting this command inc.gr.update. Please update the work node of all the records returned where problem ID is matching the current ID with this work node. Okay, so current incgr.update means it is used to update the any record is there present which is already present within system. I want to update that record. For that, I will be using object of whatever my GlideRecord I have declared above dot update to update the record. It is as simple.